Hello, welcome to LMU Community TV News. I'm Ashley Hurley. Thank you for joining us. Tennessee remains at a level 2 state of emergency as crews continue to work throughout the state to clean up after the weather system moved through, crippling communities from one side of the state to the other. The original level 2 state of emergency was issued 2 weeks ago on February 16th and elevated to a level 3 on February 21st. According to the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency, there have been 30 confirmed weather-related fatalities. In Claiborne County, 2 people have died. Neither of those deaths were caused by a motor vehicle accident. Their names are not being released. Multiple chainsaw crews are scheduled to work throughout the state, and that includes agencies like Tennessee Department of Transportation, volunteer organizations active in disasters, Tennessee Forestry, and the National Guard. All of these units have supplied chainsaw crews to work side by side with the individual county's local responders. There are 2,379 customers currently without power in Tennessee, which is down from the 8,000 reported last Friday. The highest outages do remain in Cumberland County, followed by White County. Here in Claiborne County, many secondary roads remain impassable while residents are still unable to get out of their homes. This has caused Claiborne County schools to be closed, along with several other school systems. Several East Tennessee school systems have already gone over the amount of snow days that have been built into their calendars. Anderson and Monroe counties have gone over each by 1 day. Cumberland and Union counties have gone over theirs by 2 each. Other counties are coming close to their limit. Knox County has used 9 of its available 10. Claiborne, Lee, and Bell counties have missed upwards of 10 days of school due to this weather. Pineville Independent has missed 11 days, while Middlesboro Independent schools have missed 10. Now, Middlesboro Independent schools will amend their schedule at their March school board meeting. There are an allotted number of days built into schools' calendars for issues such as snow and illnesses, but many are now having to close in on those allotted numbers. School systems taking too many snow days will have to decide whether to make those days up at the end of the school year, cancel in-service days, shorten their spring break, or even extend when their last day of school will be. Schools will be announcing when their revised calendars and makeup days will be in the upcoming weeks. Not only have school systems been out because of the weather, several local businesses are just now getting back to a slightly normal schedule. Local restaurants and grocery stores have had to close their doors due to employees not being able to make it into work or even low customer numbers. One restaurant that is just now starting to see a stream of happy faces again is the Subway right here in Harrogate.
Affected it by 50% or better. I mean, we had hardly any customers, and it also affected the employees that work here. You know, we didn't get any hours or anything, so there was 2 days we was closed. There was only a few of us that could actually get here. We had 4-wheel drive vehicles, but there was a couple of days there was nobody getting here. It was so bad. We didn't have very many customers. Like one day we literally had 6 people come in here. That's the day we shut down at 6 o'clock. There was 6 customers all day long, from 7 that morning until 6 that afternoon. Finally, my dad actually cleaned the parking lot up. He owns a construction company, Kenny Brown Construction. He finally came out here and did it after all the snow quit. But it was pretty bad, like 2-wheel drive vehicles couldn't even get in here. They would have to park at the bottom of the hill and walk up, so that affected business as well.
Several other local restaurants have had to take precautions to keep both employees and customers safe. Haymakers closed their doors early to allow their staff to make it home safely, while other restaurants just didn't offer the breakfast option in order to allow them to open later. Delivery services also came to a halt while the community battled this weather system. Now, the weather system left dozens of students stranded on campus, many not being able to travel home. To find out what these students did while they were stuck here for 2 weeks, we turned to the Director of Student Services, Rick Stowe.
Well, we tried to keep them busy and provide some opportunities for them to get out of the rooms and do some different types of events. Our residence life staff hosted a karaoke night in the Student Center. A couple of nights after that, we actually put up a projector and a screen with a Wii U and had a lot of kids come out with that and provided some snacks. We ran several mini intramural tournaments, kickball and dodgeball, along with some open gym. Another thing that we kind of had to struggle with was students at University Inn, Mars, and Lee couldn't exactly just walk to go get food at the grocery store or the Dollar General. So we actually ran a shuttle early last week to Middlesboro for them because that parking lot was still pretty treacherous after the roads were clear. We did have Wow and Starbucks open as well. The days it was a little bit nicer once that Myers staff could come in and have those available to the students.
Along with Rick, we grabbed a student here on campus who was here and we found out what he did with his 2 snow weeks and what he hopes will happen if more snow makes it this way.
During the 2 weeks of no school, I attempted to help people out of the snow that got stuck, and I studied. And that's pretty much it, because we had an exam today. As far as work-wise and study-wise, we're going to have to work a little harder because most of our classes that were still done, they just were put online for us to watch. Honestly, I hope we're still open because we have a lot to do as far as watching and making sure we catch up on our lectures.
Okay.
And so hopefully they won't close, but if they do, I mean, safety first, I guess.
Right.
So.
Coming up after this break, we take a look at the destruction that the winter weather has left behind. We'll have that story and more right after this.
Join the Vive broadband TV revolution. Vive gives you the freedom to choose with loads of new channels like Up TV, The Hub, The Blaze, and Cubo. Vive's Watch TV Everywhere feature gives you the freedom to watch participating channels just about anywhere, anytime, on any device. And Vive broadband speed gives you the freedom to power internet TV services like Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, and Google Chromecast. Join the TV revolution at vivebroadband.com.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
This weather system has kept many off the roads with the amount of snow and ice that it brought with it, but it's also caused a lot of damage around the community. To show us some of that damage at the local marinas, here is Rusty Peace.
The month of March officially gets underway. February's brutal snowstorms more than a week ago still have businesses and area residents trying to dig out and recover from what most in the tri-states are calling one of the worst winter storms ever. Although Highway 25E, Highway 58, Highway 33, and Highway 63 have all been clear and open for travel for more than a week now, many of the area's back roads and secondary streets are still down to one lane, and many area residents' driveways are snowpacked and they have sustained gutter and or carport damage. Possibly the biggest destruction from February's snowstorms was to many of the marinas on Norris Lake. Straight Creek, Beach Island, Lakeview, Stardust, Sequoia, and Powell Valley marinas all reported major damage to their slips and to customers' watercraft due to the collapse of dock stalls and boat slips. However, nearly all of the marinas on the TVA Lake have reported damage of some kind. With dingy versions of the white stuff still lingering on the ground, on some roads, and in parking lots throughout the tri-states, area residents will be talking about Snowmageddon of 2015 for months and even years to come. Most, however, are anticipating summer's heat and a more tropical scenery than has been experienced throughout the end of February. Plainly put, spring can't come soon enough. Reporting for LMU Community TV News, I'm Rusty Peace.
Along with the marinas collapsing, several buildings sustained damage as well. David Breeding, director of Claiborne County's Office of Emergency Management and Homeland Security, reported a number of roof collapses. Several carports in the area collapsed, and the roof of a few businesses, including Duncan Lumber's truss shop and a warehouse owned by Homesteader, both collapsed. Flooding and roof collapses were reported in Bell and Harlan counties in Kentucky as well. According to the Harlan Daily Enterprise, the roof of a Dollar General store collapsed Saturday afternoon. Duraline in Middlesboro had a roof collapse, as well as the Service Department of Cumberland Ford. If you've experienced any of this damage, the Tennessee Department of Commerce and Insurance offers the following tips for residents to deal with property or possible automotive damage claims. When a home is damaged, residents should call their insurance company or agents with their policy number and other relevant information as soon as possible. You should take photos or video of all the damage, make repairs necessary to prevent further damage, save all of your receipts, including your receipts for your temporary repairs, and if you have a possible dispute with your insurer about a claim settlement, you can contact the Department of Commerce and Insurance for assistance at www.tn.gov/commerce. Hundreds of people remain stuck in their homes after more than a week, and many are needing food, water, and medicine. Over the past 2 weeks, deputies and officers across the county worked together to make sure that those in need were taken care of. Many secondary roads remain impassable, and four-wheel drives just aren't enough, even enough for some of those roads, because those roads were impassable. Outside resources were brought in to help with the growing need. The outside resources came from the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Trucks along with ATVs were brought in to get to the hardest hit neighborhoods. 2 trucks packed with emergency meals and water set out to make sure that the community is taken care of. The Tennessee Emergency Management Agency provided cases of water and meals ready to eat. They are meals that are very portable and the type that the military eats in the field. Crews are now keeping an eye on another winter weather system that is coming in midweek. If the winter weather system occurs, the state emergency operations will prioritize life safety needs, supporting local government and resource requests. Throughout the week, they will continue assessing and addressing roadway conditions, assisting stranded motorists, and opening shelters. They will also be continuing to assist with debris management and preparing for transition to recovery mode. To keep up with the latest weather briefings, you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/LMUTV. Now, coming up after the break, our weather spotter, Rachel Maddie, shows you just what a difference in a year can make. Stay tuned.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again?
Yep.
Mix the beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it?
Got it.
Throw in the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Does this look familiar? This is from the snow system that moved through last year on February the 17th. This year, we didn't have a polar vortex like we did last year, but an Arctic air mass did push unseasonably low temperatures into our region on the weekend of the 14th through the 17th. The Arctic air brought temperatures in the single digits and wind chill values in the negative. The unseasonably cold air led to record-breaking low temperatures and snow and ice with the systems the following weeks. I know this picture looks like the first one, but this one is actually from February 17th of this year. The cold air froze the ground, allowing for the following systems producing wintry precipitation to accumulate on the ground, which can be seen in this awesome image from the National Weather Service's high-resolution satellites. Thankfully, the National Weather Service in Morristown is predicting near-average temperatures but above-average precipitation for the month of March. However, the near-average temperatures should keep that precipitation to mostly rain, especially in the later part of March. The meteorological spring started on March the 1st, which means we can expect to see more storms with warmer temperatures at the front of the system and colder temperatures behind the systems. And as always, for more information, you can visit www.weather.gov.
Dad's home!
Yeah. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed all that.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. And now she's holding on for dear life. Her kids can see she may have broke her knees. They still love her though she looks like she's attacked by killer bees. I'm allergic. Prove you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Welcome back. Weather has played havoc on the LMU athletics teams and their schedules over the past 2 weeks. In those past 2 weeks, the LMU men's and women's tennis teams have had to postpone games against Mars Hill, Bellarmine, Georgetown, and Queens to a date to be determined. Men's and women's lacrosse postponed their games against Wingate to March 11th. The LMU baseball team had to move their series with Tusculum to March 30th. The LMU softball team was one of the most successful teams when it came to playing games, but even they had to postpone their doubleheader against Lee on February 18th and had to regroup once their trip to the Mid-South Classic was canceled. All told, 21 athletic events were moved, postponed, or canceled in the past 2 weeks. Now, that's the bad news. The good news is that there was some teams that got to play while classes were out. The LMU basketball teams closed up the 2014-15 regular season with 4 games over the past 7 days. The season finales were last Saturday in Salisbury, North Carolina, when they faced Catawba. Going into the weekend, the ladies knew they were going to be on the road for the quarterfinal round of the upcoming conference tournament, but they could help their standing with a win. LMU came out and battled with Catawba early on, but could never take the lead, and the Indians would eventually put a little distance between themselves and the Lady Rail Splitters, taking a 10-point halftime lead 31-21. Once again, the two teams would go back and forth in the second half, but the Indians were too much for LMU as Catawba would pull out the win 75-55. Megan Pittman led LMU in scoring with 12 points, while Josie Harding recorded another double-double with 11 points and 10 rebounds. LMU will go into the South Atlantic Conference Tournament as the 6th seed, and they'll have to travel on Wednesday night to Newberry, South Carolina to face the Wolves. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. That game will be on 7:40 a.m. The LMU men had already sewed up the outright SAC regular season conference championship and the #1 seed in the tournament, but there was still a lot to play for as they are still in contention for the top seed in the southeast region of the NCAA tournament, which would mean hosting the tournament. First things first, they had to get through a pesky Catawba team that was not going to back down. LMU jumped out to the lead early and led by as many as 9 at the 7:49 mark, but the Indians kept coming back and only trailed LMU by 1 at halftime, 28-27. The second half, it was once again LMU jumping out early as they increased their lead to double digits until Catawba made it interesting in the last 3 minutes. The Indians got as close as 1 point with 23 seconds left, but 2 Jarrell Simmons free throws 10 seconds later gave LMU the 60-57 win. Keenan Peterson led LMU scoring with a double-double with 17 points and 16 rebounds. The LMU men will be at home on Wednesday evening as they'll open up the quarterfinal round of the SAC tournament as the 1 seed against 8-seeded Brevard. Tip-off will be at 7 p.m. The LMU baseball team was scheduled to be at home this past weekend for a conference series against Lenoir-Rhyne, but as fate and Mother Nature would have it, the series would have to be moved to Hickory, North Carolina in order to get it in, and for LMU it was a good thing. Game 1 of the doubleheader went the way of LMU as they rolled up 10 runs on the 23rd ranked Bears en route to a 10-3 win. Brandon Jean picked up the win for LMU, going 6 innings and allowing only 2 earned runs on 11 hits and 8 strikeouts. Game 2 started out in favor of LR as they put up 3 runs in the second inning, but it was LMU once again taking it to the Bears. LMU scored 6 in the bottom of the second and ran away to the 9-5 win. The two teams came back on Sunday to complete the 3-game series, and the bats were still hot for LMU as they lit up LR for 12 runs, 6 of which came in the first inning, and the Rail Splitters completed the sweep of 23rd ranked Lenoir-Rhyne 12-3. Now at 9-7 overall and 6-3 in conference, the baseball team will get ready for a non-conference doubleheader on Wednesday against North Greenville and a 3-game series against Carson-Newman this weekend. Both of those games will be at home, and as always, they are weather pending. For updates to the schedule, check out LMURailsplitters.com. The LMU softball team had to scramble, as we said earlier, after the Mid-South Classic was canceled, but they did find another tournament to get into at the last minute. The CSU Cougar Classic, Part 2, was on over the weekend in Columbus, Georgia, and for the ladies, it was more regional competition. They started off the 2-day event on Saturday against Flagler, and just like the previous tournament game against the Saints, LMU took the win. This time, however, it was a 2-run third inning that propelled them to the win, 2-0. Game 2 on Saturday saw the Lady Rail Splitters face Peach Belt Conference team Columbus State for the second time this season. LMU took the early lead after a 3-run second inning before the Cougars fought back to take the game into extra innings and eventually beating LMU 4-3 after a Lindsay Defee fielder's choice. On Sunday, LMU came back for 2 more games, first against Bellarmine. The Knights did not waste any time scoring in the first inning en route to a 5-0 win over LMU. Brianna Taylor took the loss for the Lady Rail Splitters. The final game of the Cougar Classic would pit LMU against Columbus State for the 3rd time this season. The rubber match between the two was as close as the day before until LMU put up 6 runs in the 6th inning to beat the Cougars 8-5. Meredith Johnson went 3 for 3 at the plate with 2 RBIs, 2 runs, and a home run. The ladies will now return home for a doubleheader against Virginia Wise on Thursday before hitting the road again for the North Georgia Captain D's Surf and Turf Classic this weekend. Again, those are weather permitting. And finally, the LMU lacrosse teams played their first South Atlantic Conference games in program history in Gatlinburg over the weekend because the home field conditions were too bad. The LMU ladies were making their debut as a program, and their opponent Lenoir-Rhyne did not show any mercy. The Bears scored 2 goals in the first minute of play, and it would be a trend that LMU could not stop. LR scored 16 times in the first half as they would cruise to the 21-2 defeat of LMU. Breasia James did, however, score the first goal in LMU women's lacrosse history in the loss. The men were looking to get back to 500 on the season with a win, but a stingy LR defense would have none of it as the Bears turned a 6-0 halftime lead into an 8-0 win. The men are now 1-3 on the season as both teams will go on the road for their next game on Saturday, March 7th in Hartsville, South Carolina against Coker. That's all for sports. Stay tuned. More LMU Community TV news after this.
Join the Vive broadband TV revolution. Vive gives you the freedom to choose with loads of new channels like Up TV, The Hub, The Blaze, and Cubo. Vive's Watch TV Everywhere feature gives you the freedom to watch participating channels just about anywhere, anytime, on any device. And Vive broadband speed gives you the freedom to power internet TV services like Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, and Google Chromecast. Join the TV revolution at vivebroadband.com.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
Well, that's going to do it. But before we go, there's more snow headed this way, possibly, but I hear there's a traveling team headed this way.
There's a team from Brevard, North Carolina coming this way. They should be here sometime Wednesday afternoon. Should be ahead of the storm to get ready for quarterfinal action.
Tell us about that.
Well, our men are hosting Brevard. The top seed, as we said, are the Rail Splitters. They're hosting the Brevard Tornadoes. Brevard gets in by luck of the draw, winning their last two, and Anderson losing one. The women will be on the road as the 6th seed over in Newberry, South Carolina. They will probably leave out sometime Tuesday evening, so they'll be in front of the storm. If either one of the teams, or as we hope both those teams, pull out the victory, they'll move on to this weekend. Semifinal round will be over in Greenville, South Carolina at the campus of Furman University. And you never know. The men are still in contention for the regional tournament. I think they'll be there whether win or lose. The women will probably need to win their way in, so win Wednesday, win Saturday, win Sunday, and we got two regional tournaments to worry about.
There you go. So it's a Wednesday. If they win, they move on.
To Saturday.
And if they don't win,
they stay home.
They stay home.
They stay home.
Well, they can stay home and build a snowman.
I'm done with snowman.
Done with snowman?
Personally.
Well, did you hear Harlan County? Harlan County Police Department put out an all-points bulletin to find Queen Elsa.
Did they do it?
Apparently, she was caught in South Carolina, and they're still waiting extradition back to Harlan County. I can't believe Raylan Givens.
Wait. So they caught
Elsa
somewhere where it's warm?
Apparently. That was what I saw on the news.
Something's wrong with that story.
I know something's wrong with that story. Raylan Givens could have caught her up in Harlan County.
Too busy with Boyd.
Too busy with Boyd.
Too busy with Boyd.
All right, well, that's going to do it. Thank you all for joining us, and we hope if this next round of storms comes, that you're safe and warm.
I'll be here Monday. Thanks for joining us.